Alright guys, welcome on back. We've got another episode of WrestleChats. I'm with my main man, Ray. How are you, brother?
I'm fantastic. Sharpy, how are you, man?
I'm fantastic. Today we are talking about the crossover event. It is TNA and WWE signing the, a working relationship for the next few years?
I think it was a wider talent sort of swapping.
Exchange or something?
Let's go with that, something like that.
Anyway, WWE and TNA are now working together, which is like 10 years ago to think of is just mind-boggling, right?
It wouldn't have happened, no way.
It's like the John Cena heel turn. You just never thought it was going to happen, but it somehow has. Talk about forbidden doors. This is a real forbidden door that's been opened.
Absolutely.
What we want to talk about is some of the crossovers that have already happened and maybe some that we would like to see in the future. For instance, like last year, Jordynne Grace popped up in the Royal Rumble for the women's.
Which was cool, so cool, yeah.
She then did it again this year, but now she has literally gone from TNA and signed with WWE.
So she is officially signed with WWE now. You guys have probably seen it just like us. We've seen the videos where she was going around to some of the talent, giving them a hug, getting quite emotional, to then officially coming over into WWE. Now it looks like she's trying to make her start in NXT, so to go after one of the NXT titles. I do love that.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of someone coming over from a different franchise or a different company straight onto the main roster. I do like it that you give them a little bit of time in NXT, maybe to figure out how NXT and WWE work, then push them up to the main card. But I want it to be on the main card sooner than later, but just not straight away.
I think you give her like the Samoa Joe treatment, or the only one that I can remember in recent memory that's come over straight to the main roster is like AJ Styles.
Yes.
Like TNA Forever was a major star there.
Yeah.
Kind of gets the free pass.
Yeah.
But even Samoa Joe had to come over, went to NXT, won the NXT title once or twice, did a quick run with it, and then straight up to the main roster, and he was fighting with Brock Lesnar. So
yeah, cool.
I think you do the same thing with Jordynne Grace. You give her an NXT title run real quick. Someone beats her flukishly, and then before you know it, she's up.
Yep.
You know, at the main roster having a crack.
And in saying that, she can hold her own in the ring, which we've seen on multiple occasions in Royal Rumbles, even in matches with Roxanne Perez. So she is at that world-class superstar status. So don't keep her in NXT too long.
Yep.
Push her up there, because she can keep up there. I would love to see a Rhea Ripley. I would love to see her like a Belair. I'm even going to say like Jade. I would love to see Jade. And just to see how good she really is, put her in the ring against Nia. See how she can hold up against Nia.
She can pick her up.
See her both.
She can pick her up and slam her, and there's not many chicks that can do that.
That's right.
So I think that would be sick. That's like David versus Goliath, but David is just as big and strong as Goliath. So that I think you give her the Brock Lesnar treatment for like her. Let her run through everybody and then give her a title sort of thing. Don't just chuck a title on her straight away.
No, not too quickly.
Same with NXT. Like let her go through like the talents that are there right now, and then it'll be a big fight feel when she gets to a roadblock or whatever show it is that she has a NXT title match on.
Yes.
Give it to her and then get it off her quickly and send her up to the big leagues, because she looks like $1 million and you got to cash in while you can.
Have to.
But you don't want to rush it, so you got to tread that fine line.
Like, I don't know. Sort of fits in there. I'm not really too sure.
Speaking of TNA popping up in the Royal Rumble, the TNA World Champion Joe Hendry, we've already discussed popping up in the Royal Rumble, but he is going to probably most likely rear his ugly head in some, well, not ugly, but gorgeous events in the future. What do you think of Hendry and other sort of main stars from TNA popping up?
I love it. I absolutely love it. Just like you touched on before, it's something that was just never going to happen. Yeah. I mean, these two companies were competitors. Yeah. They're going against each other when it comes to ratings and when it comes to superstar talent. Now, all of a sudden, WWE reaches out and signs TNA. This is unheard of. And not only have they signed TNA, they've signed TNA to work with them. So it's not a takeover, which we saw once again back in the day. It's just a straight out, let's work with you, let's work with us. What's your best talent that you've got? And then we can bring it over. The best talent that they have, and I'm just going to go straight into this, sorry Sharpy. The best talent that they have is their tag team champions, the Hardy Boys. We've just seen recently that the Hardy Boys have come to NXT and had a match against No Quarter Catch Crew, quite a young tag team that is still trying to make their way up there. But it just shows how world-class the Hardy Boys still are to this day, even though they're getting on in the years and can keep up with the younger talent. It was fantastic. After the match had finished, they were standing in the ring, TNA Tag Champions on their shoulders, for the NXT Tag Team Champions Axiom to stand up in front of them too. It's just been announced that Axiom versus the Hardy Boys will be at Roadblock for the TNA World Tag Team Champions. Love it.
Love it.
Love it. Absolutely love it. It was something that was never meant to happen in a million years. It is now happening, and we're witnessing it in this generation. Best thing ever. Absolutely the best thing ever. It's going to be so good that the Hardys are going to bring such prestige to the ring with some of their older moves and older work, where the Axiom tag team are quite young, fit, agile fellas, can then keep up with what they're doing too.
They can do all the running around while the Hardys do the things that make sense or means a lot, sort of thing. You know, we don't need to see Jeff do the crazy things now.
He still will, but
he will, but he can do a twist of fate, and the young guys can bounce off and do all the sort of stuff that they need to do. I think they'll get the rub off it. I don't think that they'll unify the titles. I just think that the Hardys will retain their belts.
Yes.
And they'll keep the NXT belts on NXT.
Yes.
But the NXT young boys will still get the rub from the Hardys, and they'll get their,
100%.
like you said, their prestige and their development will increase because they've worked with two of the best tag wrestlers in the history
for
of
sure. So I can see after the match is finished, you know, they both stand up, they're both holding their tag team. The Hardys shake their hands, you know, a bit of a hug and whatever else. Now Axiom is up at that new level, like you've just said, because they've taken on, if not the best tag team ever, then one of the best tag teams to ever get it done. So, love it. Absolutely love it.
I agree, and I can't wait to see more of that sort of thing happen in the future too. Like, you could have like an IC champ go up against like an X Division champ.
Oh, wow.
Just stuff like that, or whatever you want to do. Or even like a North American champion going over to NXT and going over to TNA and defending.
Yeah.
Just cool little crossover stuff that we would have never had before.
Yep.
And I don't mind seeing like the NXT title defended at TNA, and I don't mind seeing the TNA title defended over on NXT. I love that sort of thing. I think that that's probably one thing that AEW had done quite well before with Ring of Honor and New Japan. I don't mind that sort of thing. I think WWE's looked at that and gone, we could do that. We could probably maybe do it better. Who knows?
Yes, yeah.
Not saying that they will, but who knows? They've got the opportunity anyway.
That they do.
Another one that I'm excited to see is he's no longer called Dolph Ziggler. He is now Nick Nemeth. But he is in TNA as well, and he just lost the world title to Joe Hendry. I would love to see Dolph just have another match in WWE.
I would love to see it too. Now,
I love him, dude. I love Dolph Ziggler.
I think we need to sort of, make it quite clear, the elephant in the room. There might have been somebody that was running the company differently before. When WWE did release Dolph Ziggler, or his second name,
Nick Nemeth.
He's always going to be Dolph to me. You told me that, but I've already forgotten it. He's always going to be Dolph Ziggler. I want to see Dolph come back for maybe even another run, even if he does have a TNA tag belt or a World Championship belt on his waist, because I believe with the new person that's in charge, Trips We Trust, I think Trips can do so much more with Dolph than what the older professional that was in charge of the game many, many years ago can do for that too. Do you agree with me there, Sharpy?
Yeah, 100%. Triple H could even just put together a mini program where, you know, Dolph tries to invade or does something where he sort of, you know, weasels his way. You know, one thing that I would love to see is you just have one person from TNA get into the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Oh, wow. I love that.
One dude from TNA.
I love that.
You could have one person from NXT in it. You could have one person from TNA.
Yep.
Maybe 6 from the rest of the main roster.
Wow, I love it.
I'd love to see that.
Quick side question to you as we're still going on Dolph Ziggler or other name.
Nick Nemeth.
Nick Nemeth. Who would you love to see Nick go up against from the main roster right now? So I'm just going to throw a name out there real quick. I'm going to say LA Knight. Because I believe LA Knight versus Nick would be a banger of a match, because both of these guys are such veterans and both of these guys sell so well, but they both understand the matches and where they are. LA Knight can spring up on the top rope and jump off like it's nothing, and I know Nick or Dolph Ziggler can do the exact same thing.
Carmelo Hayes or Logan Paul for me.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine Dolph Ziggler selling his knockout punch and Ziggler just going,
yeah.
Be fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know you can go on all day about how
AJ
good
Styles,
Dolph Ziggler is.
even Braun Strowman or anybody. Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ. Well, we can see. Anyway, let's continue on to another one. We've also seen Santino Marella.
Yeah.
Cobra! Popping up on NXT with his daughter?
Yes, I believe. His daughter has come into it now too, which is great. So she is Miss NXT. I'm just going to call her that. Miss NXT has gone over to TNA to do some work over there. Yeah. It's fantastic. They have also touched upon saying that it is his daughter, and I kind of like that. I kind of like that they're not saying, these things are real or they're not real anymore. They're just making it very obvious because everybody does know it.
We have the internet. We have that information available. We can all find that out.
Yeah, so
I like that they, use that as a part of the story growth of their characters and stuff like that.
Yeah, and Santino did come out.
He's like the sheriff or something.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. He's got a badge and I don't know how it works, really.
He's Santino and we love him, and I don't care what he does.
Absolutely love him. And I do like it that he is that sort of like general manager type of figure. So he's come out and he was the one that announced that the tag team champions are going to go up against each other. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah. Do I want to see him in another match? Sharpy?
No. Leave him doing what he's doing.
Let him do his own thing.
I'm happy for him to be like the fun GM of TNA.
Yeah.
Keep that going. Let him come in and make some fun matches between the wrestlers of NXT and TNA. I love that sort of stuff.
But I do want to see just one last time.
Cobra!
Just one last time.
JTG with the venom, just like
maybe if he's like sticking up after his daughter, or if he's going in there to stick up after.
Chuck him in the Rumble next year.
Oh, come on, you're going too far there. Moving on.
Let's talk about the big match. The final point that we have on our thing here. We have the TNA X Division champion versus the NXT champion. Moose versus
Femi.
Take it away,
the ruler. So huge fan of NXT that I am. Femi got the belt only about a month and a half ago. This man is massive. Both of these guys are absolutely huge.
Dude.
I think they're like 6'6", 6'7", and I don't know, on a minimum of maybe about 120 kg. And I'm saying 120 kg just for their stance alone, not because they're muscle-bound men, but that's just how big they are. Massive this lads. Is going to be a banger of a match. Moose only just had a match on NXT the other week against
Grayson Waller and Austin Theory.
He did. Femi had a match against Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. Sorry. Moose had a match against some brother King. I forget what his name is now. Awesome match. Moose just jumped up to the top rope and off the ropes and springboarded off him like there were nothing.
I know.
This man is 6'6", over 100 kgs, and springs off the top rope like it's nothing.
Yeah.
That should not be possible and makes it look so good. Yep. Femi is absolutely incredible at what he does. He can go up against matches for guys that are young, fit, athletic, and still make them look good, but eventually just hoik them up and slam them down and finish them off. At the same time, he can still go up against guys from the main roster, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, like you touched on before, and still have an absolute banger of a match too. This is going to be so good to see two huge men go up against each other that are at the top of their game. Who's going to win though? I got no idea.
Both just so talented. And
talented.
The stuff that they can do, I would just love to see them go for like a 30-minute Iron Man match.
Oh,
and just
wow.
go to town and just two big meaty dudes slapping meat.
Yes.
Just slapping the shit out of each other for half an hour.
Yeah.
I think it would be fantastic. Either way, whatever they're going to do, they're both so athletic, so talented. They're both good on the mic.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fantastic. I will even tune in, and I don't watch NXT.
Sharpy doesn't
I will even have a look at it.
He doesn't. We'll convert him over. He'll eventually come over, guys, that we know that he will. So the WWE and the TNA crossover, just a real quick thought on that, Sharpy?
I think it's going to be fantastic, and it's going to bear fruit that will continue to grow throughout the next few years. I think there's going to be some working relationships and stuff that will just develop out of this that we don't even see coming.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be great. I think there's going to be stars born in TNA that end up smashing it in WWE, and I think there's going to be some stars in WWE that are going to head over to TNA and grow and flourish and do exactly what they've got to do as well. I think it's going to be great.
I love that. I love everything you said just then, Sharpy. You wrapped it up all in one big hit right there. It's going to be so good. So, can you guys let us know what you think about the WWE TNA crossover? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Is there some things you want to see? Some matchups you want to see? Just remember, real quick one, we got to give a shout out there in Royal Rumble already just gone. Our boy, we said his name and he did come along because we believed in him. We believed in Joe Hendry. Oh, we loved him in the Royal Rumble.
One other extra point I do want to make that I just thought of. I want to see AJ Styles go back to TNA for one more match.
Wow.
Because he's the godfather of TNA. And now they've got the working relationship.
Wow.
AJ Styles, big jacked AJ Styles, head back for one more, whatever you want to do. Maybe he wrestles Joe Hendry, or maybe he wrestles, I don't know, whoever's there at the moment that's huge.
That's awesome call, Sharpy.
I would love to see it. I think
That's
that'd be
awesome
fantastic.
call. We're definitely converting him. He's going to start watching NXT anytime now. All right, guys. Hope you did enjoy this episode. Sharpy's hooked. We've got him hooked.
We'll see you guys in the next episode. Same time, same place next week. But for now, peace.